Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and President of the Climate Vulnerable Forum, Excellencies, distinguished delegates, members of the media. Madam Prime Minister, the Government of Barbados appreciates your leadership of this Climate Vulnerable Forum. Of course, this meeting has taken place alongside the COP26, and it takes place at a time when the world is caught in the tentacles of the COVID-19 pandemic as we seek to confront the climate crisis. Like other members of the forum, 2020 and 2021 have been difficult years for Barbados. In my country, the coronavirus pandemic has caused a loss of GDP of almost 18% last year. That equates to the erosion of a decade of development gains in nominal terms, but of course, almost 2 decades in real terms. To compound this, in April we suffered heavy ashfall from the La Soufrière volcano eruption in our sister islands St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Similarly, in July, we also suffered from Hurricane Elsa, from which we are still trying to recover. Even as I speak, Barbados and the Caribbean are feeling the effects of the La Palma volcano located in the Canary Islands, even though it is some 5,000 kilometers across the Atlantic Ocean. There were haze alerts given in my country for 2 days in this past week. The world, my friends, is facing a confluence of crises. But for many of us on the front line of the climate crisis, such as the small island developing states of the Caribbean and the world's LDCs, there is also a convergence of inherent structural, economic and environmental vulnerabilities which are greatly heightened by the climate emergency. Barbados has submitted a strong NDC, introduced natural disaster clauses into our loan instruments, and we've developed our Roofs to Reefs project, which is intended to be our multi-sectoral initiative for resilience building over the course of the next decade. We have also been pursuing other measures intended to be able to allow us to mitigate the effects of climate crisis, while at the same time adapting to what might be our new reality of a post-1.5 degree world. My country is gravely concerned that in spite of the clear and present danger, the majority of NDCs submitted to the IPCC reflect no sense of urgency and put us, regrettably, on that 2.7 degree pathway rather than the 1.5 degrees we need to survive. The United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has defined the climate crisis as code red for humanity. We could find no better way and no more apt way of describing it. Barbados recognizes, therefore, that it has an obligation to stand united with members of the Climate Vulnerable Forum in the adoption of the Dhaka-Glasgow Declaration. This is the moment to restore the will, spirit, and intent of the Paris Agreement. From its founding, the intent of the UN's Charter has been to save succeeding generations from the scourge of war. We must now save Mother Earth and her children from the scourge of the climate crisis. Let us together strengthen the promise of multilateralism by ushering in a new era of progressive international cooperation on climate crisis and on climate financing. Let us be the generation of leaders to restore public trust and confidence. And let us set aside short-sightedness and take the long-range decisions. Let us, my friends, be remembered for doing not what is expedient, but what is right. Let this be a defining moment in the history of humanity. I thank you